All right, Shalom. First off, I'm going to start off by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh, Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's true name, Yahweh Shai being the name of His only begotten Son. Double honor unto the elders and the apostles, a great millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. All right, this is the brother Masham Mayum, one of the men here with the GMS branch, out here in the morning camp, and just here with another quick lesson and pretty much going into we want to eat in the time of famine. All right, that's going to be the title of this lesson, and pretty much going into we, the servants of the Lord, okay, are serving the Lord, all right, to be delivered, okay, and covered from the judgments to come, all right, because we know, as it tells us in 2nd Ezra, which is what we're going to start off with, all right. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 15 and starting at verse 2. Let's go down. I think it's a little further down. So like it was verse 5, but it reads. Matter of fact, we'll start at the top. This 2nd Ezra 15 and 1. Behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord, and cause them to be written in paper, for they are faithful and true. All right. And everything that the Lord has prophesied, okay, back then has definitely come to pass, as we can see. Okay. The many different things that our elders and our apostles have taught us and have pinpointed in the scriptures, okay. All right, and that we went back and verified, okay, and looked into them ourselves. All right, that's a show of prophecy being fulfilled, okay, which shows that the Lord's word, okay, doesn't come back void like the scripture says, you know. And what is prophesying here is definitely going to come to pass as well. All right, verse 3, fear not the imaginations against thee, let not the incredulity of them trouble thee that speak against thee, for all the unfaithful shall die in their unfaithfulness. All right. And that's plain and simple, okay? We can't worry about what these unbelievers think, how they feel, okay? We are to continue to serve the Lord in truth and in sincerity, all right? And to trust in the words that the Lord has told, the things that the Lord has revealed unto His servants, okay? And what He's promised to do for them, okay, in the times to come, in the times of trouble, all right? Verse 5, behold, saith the Lord, I will bring plagues upon the earth, the sword, famine, death, and destruction. Okay. So what? Those are the different things that are going to come to pass. Okay. And as we can see, okay, famine has definitely been being the main focus of this lesson. That's definitely something that's been happening. Okay, in different countries. All right. You had down in South America. All right, for the longest, Venezuela dealing with famine. Okay. Those are things that are going to come here to America, all right? Verse 6, for wickedness hath exceedingly polluted the whole earth, and their hurtful works are fulfilled, right? Because of the wickedness that's going on here in America, okay? Pretty soon it's going to come a time to where, when the said measure is fulfilled, okay, then the Lord is going to start sending these judgments, okay? It also tells you in Revelation 7, at the top it says, heard not the sea, nor the trees, nor the earth, all right, nor the sea, until we have sealed the servants of our power in their foreheads, because once the elect are sealed, hey, the Lord is going to seal His elect, and that's when He's going to let the judgments loose, But the key thing I wanted to focus on was dealing with the famine, okay? Because as we can see, okay, also prophesied in Revelation, right? Let's grab that real quick. Revelation chapter 6, dealing with the black horse. Revelation chapter 6 and verse 5. And it reads, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. All right. Verse 6, and I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay. So what? When you go into that word penny, okay, it's dealing with what? A day's wage. It's saying a measure of wheat for a penny, so that's dealing with what? Okay. You know, hyperinflation that's going to come to America. You know, and pretty soon, once again, okay, food isn't going to be so easily accessible. All right. You won't be able to just go up to you know, your grocery store. Okay. Businesses are going to close, because as I believe when we go back to Second Ezra's, let's go back to that real quick. Or let's just type this in. Right, this is Second Ezra, not Second Ezra, Sirach chapter 12 and verse 4. And the doors shall be shut in the streets when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. Okay. So what? The doors being shut in the streets is what? These businesses being boarded up. Okay. You know. And that's gonna be a lot of these restaurants as well. Okay, you're not, you know, these people that love to eat McDonald's, okay, KFC, right? All these different food restaurants are gonna be closed up, you know. And that's when it's gonna be, that's when really the famine is gonna kick in. Okay. Once food isn't easily accessible, right? But going back to Revelation chapter 6 and verse 6, and it says, but the point was a measure of wheat for a penny. And when you go into that word penny in the Greek, okay, it's the word denarius, okay, which means a day's wage, okay. So when you calculate that, you know, with for example, you take your job and you calculate that, all right. However much you make in a day, the hours that you work, and what you get paid an hour, right? That amount would be the cost for, you know, say a bag of Sara Lee bread, you know? That's crazy, you know, and that's definitely what's going to come here. And a lot of people won't be able to, once again, afford it, okay? But from there, let's go to Isaiah chapter 65. I just want to grab that Second Ezra to show that these are things the Lord has said that will happen, right? Now concerning the righteous, what did the Lord say he's going to do? This is Isaiah chapter 65 and verse 13. Isaiah 65 and 13, and it reads, therefore thus saith the Lord power, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Okay? And this is what we're expecting, okay? The ones that are serving the Lord in truth and in sincerity, okay? Following the correct teachers, the correct leaders, okay? Being guided in the correct way to conduct yourself, right? We hope to be the true servants of the Lord, okay? And what he said is what? His servants are going to eat, all right? But it comes with what? It comes with being obedient to the spirit of Yahweh Bashim al-Shai, okay? From there, let's get Job chapter 5 and starting at verse 17. This is Job chapter 5 and verse 17, and it reads, Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Okay? So it says what? Happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth, okay? And, as it says, right, let's get this real quick. This is Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 7, and it reads, If ye under chastening, the Most High dealeth with you as with sons. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? All right. And just grabbing this to show, because this is the process that we're going through. Okay. It's a chastening, a process of being chastened. Okay, to what? Be molded in the image of Yahushua. All right, because ultimately He's our Savior and He's our righteousness. Because it's not all about keeping the law. Okay, and the law is what's going to get you saved. No, it's about being in the correct spirit. All right. And of course, once again, not making void the law, but keeping the laws to the best of our ability. Okay, the ones that we can keep. But it's about moving in a righteous spirit. Okay, and how we conduct ourselves. Right. Going back to Job chapter 5 and verse 17. It reads, Behold, happy is the man whom the Most High correcteth, therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Okay, so that's the process we're going through. Okay, ultimately, what? To be made vessels of salvation. Right. Verse 18, For he maketh sore and bindeth up, he woundeth, and his hands make whole. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Right. And that's what we got to stand on, and what we got to have faith in. Okay. It said in 6 and in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. Right. Verse 20, In famine he shall redeem thee from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Okay. So that's the key thing too. Okay. In famine he shall redeem thee. All right. Because ultimately, hey, that's what we want in the times to come. Okay. These people are going to be out here, going crazy. Just to get something to eat. All right. But the servants, okay, the elect are going to be covered from all the judgments to come. Because real quick, like it says, let's get this real quick. All right, because that's something serious that we do not want to go through, right? This is Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 9, and it reads, They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Okay. So it's saying it's pretty much better to be, or basically, it's better to be killed by the sword, okay, than to die with hunger. All right. And that's what? Being in a famine and not having nothing to eat. All right. Because really, even in these bodies, after 3 days of not eating, you start to feel it. You feel your body weakening. Okay. Even after 2, Imagine going a week. A lot of these people are going to lose it, From here, let's go to Sirach chapter 2. And starting at verse 10. And it reads, "Look at the generations of old and see, did ever any trust in the Lord and was confounded, or did any abide in his fear and was forsaken? Or whom did he ever despise that called upon him?" Okay? So, and the generations of old is really dealing with the men that are written about, that we read about, okay? Because they're the righteous that are remembered, okay, and that are going to be remembered, all right, for forever, right? And those are the ones that the Lord was dealing with, okay? You know, starting from Moses, okay, Abraham on down, okay, even in Hebrews 11, okay, it tells you the great men that we read about, right? One of the main ones that we know about, okay, the prophet Ezekiel, so like not Ezekiel, Elijah, okay. You can read about him. I believe it's 2 Kings, all right. He was fed by the Lord, okay, with the ravens fed him, okay. So that's something we can look back to, okay, and we can understand how he moved, okay, and how he feared the Lord, and that's something to apply, all right, and to have faith in, in our walk, right? From here, let's go to Psalms chapter 33. And starting at verse 19, and it reads, Psalms 33, and we'll start at 18. "Behold, the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, upon them that hope in his mercy, to deliver their soul from death and to keep them alive in famine." Okay? So, hey, that's, it said the eye of the Lord is upon them that fear him, because ultimately too, right? Fearing the Lord, okay, is being humble, right? Being humble and doing the will of the Lord, in truth and in sincerity, right? Let's get Isaiah 66. All right, because like it says, this is a man that's going to be covered and protected. This is Isaiah 66 in verse 2, getting straight to the point. And it reads, "For all those things hath mine hand made, and all those things have been, saith the Lord. But to this man will I look, even to him that is poor, and of a contrite spirit, and trembleth at my word." Okay? Even him that is poor and of a contrite spirit, okay? So what, being stricken in your mind, okay, being in a repetitive mentality, okay, and accepting the will of the Lord and anything that he asks you to do, And once again, that word "look," when you go into it in the Hebrew, it's the Hebrew word "nabat," okay, which means to regard with care. Okay, so this is who the Lord is going to regard with care in the times to come. All right. From there, let's grab 2 Ezra chapter 9. All right, because in walking in righteousness, okay, and, doing the works of the Lord, right, the Lord is going to protect you from the times to come. All right, this is 2 Ezra chapter 9 and verse 7. So like it, chapter 9 and verse 7. And it reads, 2 Ezra 9 and 7, "And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by its works and by faith, whereby ye have believed, shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. For I have sanctified them for me from the beginning." Okay? But it said what? Everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith. Okay? So faith and works go hand in hand, okay? And it's, once again, it's not all the works of the law, like I went into not too long ago, okay? It's about walking in a righteous spirit, okay? A lot of the letters of Paul, okay, is dealing with, things of conduct, right? Because even like it says, I think it's one of Paul's letters as well, or Yeah, but it says, until we all come into the full measure, okay, and stature of Yahweh Shai, showing you what we're being patterned and molded into the image of Yahweh Shai, okay, which is our righteousness, you know. But that's the point, you know. Just wanted to go into that, you know, dealing with the righteous are the ones that are going to be delivered from the times to come, and that are going to be what fed in times of famine, all right, which is what we hope to be and what we expect, all right. But that's the point. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rachak Wadash, for putting the spirit upon me to do this lesson. Double honors unto the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well. And peace, blessings, and salutations to all you walking throughout the four corners of the earth, continuing to push and do the works in truth and in sincerity. Shalom.